Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Tara and I have a problem. I have no idea where to look. There. Hello, that's a cat. This is my cat, Tim. I have a feeling this is going to be a thing for us, isn't it, Timmy? I'll set up a camera and you're gonna mess with the lighting that I just spent 2 hours getting right. Isn't that true? Yeah, just eating. I was in San Francisco for an event and I figured while I was there, I would do some shopping and really take advantage of what the city has to offer. Tim, I want to share some of the stuff that I got. I'm sure this guy will be, I can just tell, this is the beginning of him just exploring the space behind that I've meticulously set up. I did some touristy things while I was in town. I was there for a theatrical event. I went to Pier 39, which I've never been to before. Deeply challenged. All right, so the subreddit Fountain Pen Community recommended that I check out Maido, and so I did. It's this really cool two-story gifts and stationery and fountain pen store. This place did not disappoint. Now it's on the second story of a mall, and I found parking right in front. It was a great sign. It was this very tiny store. It kind of feels like a shotgun store. There's stationery, there's fountain pens, there's stickers, washi, hobonichi. There's a lot of stuff in a very tight space. But the main event, the thing that I was there to see, which were fine pens, fountain pens, there were so many things sitting on top of this display case that you could really only see things at the bottom, which were a large collection of Lamis, which fantastic. I actually really wanted to go to the Lamy flagship store and I couldn't get in because it was closed today. Aww. Sad me. It was closed Monday and Tuesday. Whatever. But I didn't see any. I really wanted to go to the Lamy store in person to check out. Here I go on a rant. I wanted to check out all of these things and I wanted to like see them in person. I wanted to see if they have specialty editions from previous years. I'm really a Lamy color, but regardless, there was a bunch of stuff, but I really you couldn't see. It was unshoppable, is what I'm saying. Anyway, maybe I'll edit this down so it was just like, Maido, here's what I got. So, blah, 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 blah.
I am sure that Timmy here is going to probably be in the way, but that is the joy of having a cat. So this is you can kind of see it all here. This is everything I got at Maido. Because it was challenging to shop in the store, I didn't get really what I was hoping to get, which was a full-size fountain pen, but I was able to pick up 2 different Kawakos and got a lot of other cool stationery things. So one of the first things I got were these blind boxes of what looks like maybe acrylic or 3D printed dogs as pen holders for your desk. And I thought, this is so cute. I have been looking for something like this, and I thought this would be fun to just open, on camera and be able to see what I got. So I'm going to do that. If I can find my box opener, which is most likely under a cat at this point. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's a really cute one at the top. So I guess they can also hold washi tape. It's not just for holding pens. But let's see. Oh, I see a shaggy coat here. It looks like there's a golden retriever. That is so cute. And You can see they all have these pillow bases that all of the different breeds sit on. So kind of looks like a little macaroon, but this is really cute. Actually, there's a lot of detail going on here with the little paws and the coloring on the back. It just attaches here. It's not magnetized or anything. It just attaches a little post onto the back, and that can just sit on your desk. So let me actually see if I can test it with a pen here. I'm going to put my Twisby on it. It's not very level, but there you go. Works just like that. That is really adorable. Try it with the Coeco I already own. Gosh, that's cute. So that actually looks really nice together. The apricot Coeco with the golden retriever. Onto the next one. Let's get rid of my trash here. Sometimes I hold on to packaging, like for instance for pens, but if I'm not careful, I'll have just a collection of boxes. And so I try not to hold on to too many boxes unless it's for like large items or electronics. I think it's kind of funny on the back. It says, "Warning, this is not food and it is a choking hazard." So not intended to be put in the mouth, but I think we've got this corgi here, and absolutely so here we go. I've got the corgi and I've got the golden retriever. They're kind of holding hands. That's so adorable. I'm going to have one for my desk at work and one for the house, although I have a bad habit of when I get things in two, especially if they're animals, I can tend to anthropomorphize. And so now I'm already feeling bad about separating them, which is ridiculous. I'm unwell. But I would love to have, oh, does his head turn? No, I see a seam here, but they are not movable. I would kind of love to know what names I should give to these two dogs, if there's anything clever in the pen or stationery world. Putting them to the side, very adorable. By the way, those were $6.95 a piece. I am really looking forward to going to a pen show this year because there's a company called Craft that makes pen holders. They are 3D printed pen holders that are absolutely beautiful. And I'm really looking forward to finding their booth at an upcoming pen show, or hopefully they'll open their Etsy shop soon. Kaleido Prints on Instagram. You should definitely follow them. They have beautiful, unique items with a little bit of sense of humor as well as love for the pen and stationery world. But in the meantime, those dogs will have to do. Okay, I think I'm going to move these items away. I probably should have done that earlier. It's a little crowded there. This is a really neat stamp that I saw online after watching a pen show, or maybe it was looking at the list of vendors from the 2024 San Francisco Pen Show. This is a company called Fog Cats, and I was admiring their stamps online. I thought they had really unique designs. I'm a sucker for anything night sky, celestial, cats, terrarium, and this just combines all three. It's a really unique design. I love using stamps in my Hobonichi A6 planner. When I prep, I tend to use a lot of Archer and Olive stamps, but this I thought would be really great. Next year, I'm planning on moving up a size to probably the A5 Hobonichi, or maybe getting a new system altogether. The one I have right now is a little small, so this would eat up, gosh, half a day, maybe a quarter of a day. But I just loved the look of this. I'll actually pull out my Hobonichi notebook here. Um, so this is similar in size to the planner itself. You technically, or typically, you have the heading at the top and then some sort of quote at the bottom. So if I were to put this in the middle of a day, it would really take up well, the second half of the day, a quarter of the day planning space. But I absolutely loved this design, and it looked like it was really nice quality. On the back side, there were several Fog Cat stamps that had the company's name printed on the side. This was not one of them. So I'll just have to write down, maybe in a stamp book somewhere, and remember that this is the Fog Cats design. And I really hope to see them at an upcoming pen show, maybe in San Francisco. So lots of animal stationery items represented there. Speaking of the Hobonichi A6, I got some daily event schedule seal stickers. And Pine Book Company is, it looks like Pine Book Stationery. There's a little Instagram and a QR code there, just like on the back, the picture there. They are intended to be used inside of your small grid calendar. And I got a dog one that kind of matches the corgi pen stand I just got, and a little cat one, which kind of reminds me of the cat that interrupted my filming at the beginning. But they have really adorable designs. They're coffee, camping. There's little kind of text bubbles. There's one for going to the doctor. There's like a haunted cat here running. I absolutely love putting tiny stickers like this inside of my planner for the week ahead. I really love this one. That's like the cat at the barber. I think stickers are probably my love language at this point, and I cannot wait to use these designs in my planner, kind of as a uh, uh, just a, for reference here. Again, using this A6 notebook, it is the size of an A6 page, and I love sticker sheets this size as opposed to like a washi roll or PET tape roll, because I can take the whole sheet and slip it right inside the cover of my planner. So if I'm doing a prep, I can do that, say like the week or month before, or just use them on a day-to-day basis on the fly. And I probably will just throw these right inside my Hobonichi planner. It's absolutely adorable. A little high on the price tag for a single page, but I know that this is, still a small stationery store, and these are clearly not coming from the US, so it didn't feel like it was too expensive to get. So, moving right along to the two pens that I got, my two Kaweco Sports here to add to the one Kaweco Sport that I got. I got this one from Jet Pens. This is the Apricot limited edition, and I believe I have this. This is a fine nib. This was the first nice nice fountain pen that I got. I say nice fountain pen because the first true fountain pen that I got, I believe, was a Platinum Preppy. I got it on Amazon, maybe $3 or $4. I got it just so I could learn, I don't know anything about fountain pens, what I like, what I didn't like, and I continued my education of what I liked or did not like with this Kaweco. Now, it did not come with this clip. In fact, this clip I did end up getting at Maido when I was there. This is one of two styles that they had, and I guess one of two styles and one of two colors. So one of four options that were available. This is the gold appearing curved style clip. I thought it went really nicely with the apricot, obviously, because the text is in gold. Also, I have this inked with a Kaweco apricot cartridge. I'll show you. I do have a mini converter that I got from Cult Pens, but I actually have been enjoying this. This is my second cartridge that I've put into this, and I'm not crazy about the Kaweco fine nib that is on this. I find, oops, here we go. I find that it is a little dry. I don't know if there's something wrong with the nib itself. It definitely needs to be cleaned here. But I have found that it's like particularly scratchy, and I'm not an expert on Kaweco nibs or fine nibs in general, but it feels like there is like a I'm not going to say this right. It looks like there's a ridge or a dent or something at the top. I don't know if that's typical or not. Of course, I just got ink on my fingers when I touched it to clean it. But I do find that this, now that I've written with other pens, I do find that this one is a challenge to write with. So I don't know if I'll switch the nib size out, or I don't know if I can justify a grind on this, but I do love the body. I didn't at first, I'm not going to lie. When it arrived, I didn't realize it was going to be this kind of opaque, milky apricot. I thought it was going to be more of a matte clear finish. But under certain lights and in daylight, it does have this green undertone. And one of my favorite colors to get for a pen is green. I do love this pearlescent kind of effect on it. Anyway, it looks really nice. But this is the silver mate to that, both in the curved style. I'll show you the other style that I got in a second. And this is the Kaweco Sport in the colorway Macchiato, which has the silver text here. This one is a medium silver nib. I absolutely love the look of this. I have not put a cartridge in it yet. I intend to put my mini converter in this and ink it up with something a little bit more subdued in color. I absolutely loved it with, oops, I loved it with the silver clip there, and I thought these two actually looked all right together. Not crazy about it, but I just realized that this box is empty. So I am going to go get the pen that came inside of this because I started using it on the drive home. This is the notebook that I keep my white one in. It doesn't really go with it, but I do love this notebook. I got this notebook from Tifosi, and Aaron Smith, who is a YouTuber and an Instagrammer, actually inspired me, pen-abled me into getting into fountain pens. She turned me on to Tifosi notebooks. I do love an A6 notebook. This is a dot grid. I love that gold foil. It's got a pen loop here, which is just kind of big enough to hold the bottom side. It cannot hold the cap as well. But I do love this notebook, and I actually use it for, I have a Dungeons and Dragons style role-playing game that I do live on stage once a month. I've been doing it for about 7 years, and sometimes it's hard to keep track of everything that happens. So I have this, which actually kind of fits the style and vibe of the show. It's set in the 1920s this season. And anyway, I used this pen last night, so it's already inked up and ready to go. I will talk to you about why I love this pen, but I do kind of love the look of all three of them together. Just so good looking. I did stop filming for a second because my cat, oh, my cat returned. Timmy, move, move, move. So I love this one. I think this is my favorite Kaweco Sport that I have for a couple of reasons. One, I'm realizing about myself that I love green pens, but I love a white fountain pen. And maybe I'll show some of the other pens in my collection, but I'm kind of noticing about myself that I love a broad nib, which this is a broad nib, and I love a white pen. This pen is a dream to write with, and I will show you, even though this is a gold clip, This is more of an octagonal straight shape clip compared to the curved clip that is on my apricot. I love the clean look of this. I think they are, I think this one feels a little bit more modern and masculine, maybe because it's opaque, maybe because it's white. The gold and white together feels very classic, very kind of preppy and aesthetic, but I love this smooth lined clip on the back. And then here the detail, it says since 1883. This is just a good looking pen and it writes really well. I actually pre-recorded a writing sample where I did a little pen review and poetry. So maybe I'll throw that in here while I talk about it. You know, the Kaweco Sports, Kaweco or Kaweco, what W sound or a V sound, a Kaweco or a Kaweco. I hear people say both. I imagine if you're German, they're going to say Kaweco. But I'm not German and it's a W, so I'm going to give it a W sound. I'll probably just call it Kaweco or Kaweco. I bet that's how they say it, Kaweco. But I do love the size, the price point. What I love about the Kaweco pens too is that I learned what I liked and what I didn't like in pens. Don't necessarily love a translucent body, although I do love the appearance of the iridescence on the apricot. I much prefer a matte. Don't really love a fine nib. Definitely prefer a medium or a bold. I'm not much of a cursive writer. I tend to write print and in all caps when I do write. A broad nib, a stub nib. I do like to write in a way that probably looks like I'm shouting. And I really learned my preferences with the Kaweco Sports. And also, I learned how to use a cartridge converter, how to install a cartridge. Do I prefer a piston fill? You know, these small little details, the small accessories that went into this helped me figure out what my preferences were. And I don't know when I would add to this collection. It would probably have to be for a really special limited edition. There is a tortoise shell brown and black colorway that I'm really interested in. If they had a stub nib, I'd have to look and see. Maybe that would be something to go for, but I'm really pleased with these pocket size ones. I am interested in getting the brass one just for kind of the life of the patina. But these three I'm really pleased with: the macchiato, the special limited edition apricot, and the classic white. And I do love the clips that uh, are on them, and I love throwing them in my bag and taking them out. They are really quality writers. This one, especially the broad nib, I love writing with the broad nib. The cart right out of the box worked really well. So I'm super happy with my addition, my purchase of these two, even though I wasn't able to go and find a really expensive, unique, fine fountain pen. This was a real joy to add to my collection. And I started writing with that one, like basically on the drive home as a passenger. So I'm going to put this one away since it's not actually part of the haul, putting those to the side. A couple of other things. I got a really great postcard at Maido. Sorry for the cat's tail. Get out of here, Timmy. This says only stopping for a cup of coffee. I thought this would be a really nice piece of ephemera to add to my coffee journal. And it looks like there's little potatoes, maybe. Someone want to tell me what that is? Potato, or just maybe they're tiny coffee beans. I don't know. I loved that it had this kind of airmail quality. It's a nice, really kind of a suede matte texture, really kind of creamy texture on the front of this postcard. It was $2.95, made by Jan Chaco, which is janchaco.co. And I just thought this was a really fun piece of ephemera. I would typically, if I'm picking up a postcard that I'm going to mail, I typically get two, one to kind of keep in scrapbook and one to send, but I had already sent a postcard to my dad with an artist that I found with a rendering of the Golden Gate Bridge, which I drove over. So this one is for my coffee journal, and I do have a very unique coffee story from San Francisco where I went to a place called Artly, and I had a cup of coffee made for me by a robot using AI and robotic technology. I bought an iced latte, a snow latte. Very, very unique cup of coffee, not just in flavor, but that from start to finish, from placing the order to serving it to me, every step along the way was manned by a robot. Very unique store. I'll put a little, maybe a little peek at that in here. I did get 2 inserts for my new traveler's notebook, which I'll get into in a second. But if you have a traveler's notebook, you know this is for the passport size. I got the MD paper cream blank 64 pages insert. And then I also got the sticker release, which is 32 pages. Sticker release paper is a paper that's designed to hold on to stickers that you are not ready to adhere yet to paper so that they can be removed or moved around, transferred very easily. Stickers are my love language. I wouldn't typically put a small sticker like this in something like a sticker release book, but a larger vinyl or maybe more decorative sticker I would. And last but not least, which I don't believe was out before when I kind of had the picture of everything that I got 2 Midori cream correction tapes. And I brought my Hobonichi out here for a reason. I didn't know if these were the same thing or different, but I wanted to see what it would look like to use a correction tape that matched more of a, I guess, a cream colored page, since I've used white correction tape on Tomoe River paper before, and it sometimes shocking. You can see the difference between like a white, well, maybe not with the lighting here, but when you put a white correction tape down, it can sometimes look a little strange. So I'm going to make a couple marks here. Oh, I love writing with this broad nib so much, and I do just love the kind of just classic black in here, even though it's black ink and a white pen. I don't know, there's something about it. I love it. So the first one I'm going to try is it had this grid kind of design. It looks like it is 5 millimeters by 7.2 millimeters. Everything else is in a different language, so I can't quite figure out what it is, but it looks like from the instructions that you hold it kind of at a, I don't know, 45-degree angle, and that you're able to maybe turn. It looks like there's a pen that they've put down in there. I don't quite know what that means. It was $4.95, and I didn't want to go all that way, get one and get the wrong one. So I got 2, which could ultimately be the same thing except for the size. But I really loved this modern style packaging. You can see that there's a cream correction tape through here. Oh, maybe that's what it was. It said wind. Oh, I have to wind it. Oh, maybe you can wind it to move it along if it gets stuck or something. That would make sense. But I love the applicator here. Ooh, I love the applicator. And yeah, let's give it a go. This is the correction tape cream. And it definitely is cream. Somewhat transparent. You can kind of see the writing down below, but not by much. Goes on really easily. Oh, it does kind of bend and pull. You have to be careful. There are some correction tapes that you can go over itself with. It feels like this might not be one of them. You know, it's not a true match. I don't know if you can see that it is a little bit more yellow than the paper itself, but it's definitely not glaring white. I'm starting to think now maybe I shouldn't be using a Tomoe River Hobonichi paper, and maybe I should use an MD, a cream paper. That makes so much more sense. this feels like these two would go together really well. Oh, absolutely. I'm a ding dong for thinking it would match that. This is going to be an exact match. Oops, I can kind of just tell that it's going to be an exact match for an MD paper. Duh, that's why it's called MD. So it's an MD paper cream correction tape. That one's perfect. I'm guessing this will be the exact same thing. Let's see. There's a size difference. This one is 6 millimeters by 7.2 millimeters. So the same second measurement, similar functions, 45-degree angle, wind up on the back. Maybe if it, I don't know, has a start or stop. Oh, I see English. Great. How to use. Place the tip on the part you want to correct and slide in a straight line. When you have finished correcting, lift upward to remove from the paper. Yeah, got it. How to retract. There we go. If the tape is too slack, place a sharp object, pen tip, etc., not my pens, in the winding hole and move it in the direction of the arrow. Great. So, great. Entire product made from synthetic resin that qualifies as paper product and can be disposed of in combustible garbage in Japan. What? That's all right. Meets the requirements for being a recyclable, it sounds like. All right, let's see if this is, I'll just continue to use the same test page that I have here to see if there's really any difference maybe in width. I love, again, love the packaging and the modern style. Oh, it's definitely a bit thicker by just 1 millimeter. It's thicker, still same color, but it feels like it gets the job done and will be perfect on my cream insert. So very, very happy with those. Very inexpensive, probably cost the same as a white paper corrector would, but these are the two styles designed for comfortable writing: Midori correction tape in cream. So that concludes my haul of stationery and pen items from Maido. There's a look at everything that I got at Maido, and yeah, I just absolutely love it. And I love these little pen holder dogs. If anyone has any suggestions of a name for a corgi or a golden retriever that may or may not be best friends and hold pens. Oh, okay. You know what? I've got them too close together here. There we go. They are just so good looking. Okay, moving on to what I got from Flax Art and Design. Absolutely loved my shopping experience from Flax. So I am going to zoom in a little bit so that I can show you everything up close. First, I'm going to start with these really amazing stamps. Again, like I said, I like to prep my week ahead with stamps, and I got one in a vertical style and a horizontal style, and I thought these two were really beautiful. I loved the look of this, and compared to the A6, it fits really nicely as a header. So if I used a dark ink, I could probably use this over the Hobonichi quote at the bottom of the page, or over maybe partially obscuring some of the date in the day. But I just loved this. It might actually just look nice in a notebook here if I were to use it, but I have the stamp style markers. I have a lot of markers, and some of them are appropriate for stamps, and I just thought this would be really nice to do a fun gradient on, and I'm looking forward to using this. This is made in Berkeley, California. Leavenworth is the name of the company, and just really beautiful, unique stamp. Reminds me of the kind of Japanese style art block prints, and I thought it actually looked an awful lot like the San Francisco coast when I was there. The water was a bit choppy, but it was nice and windy and nice and sunny. I thought that was beautiful, and I thought this would be really fun to kind of just have on the side as an accent, as a stamp. I'm not going to stamp these up today, but I just thought they were both really unique, really beautiful. Moving that to the side, I've never had a traveler's notebook before, and obviously I got passport inserts from Maido, which was actually the second shop that I went to, but I did end up getting a traveler's notebook in the brown colorway while I was at Flax, and the staff was so amazing. They helped me take them out of the package, figure out the one I wanted. I'll take this off in a second when I'm done talking. I looked at the Love limited edition that came out for 2025 and decided to go for a classic brown and got a few inserts and accessories to go with it. But I have been eyeing this for a long time. It was kind of a big purchase. I mean, I have a Hobonichi, so it's not big compared to that when you get the whole system with the cover and everything. But I love this, and I'm really looking forward to playing with it. So let me get it opened up, and I'll kind of show you the brown color. Looks like you got an extra rubber band here. And what I think I might do is harvest this out of here, either untie this knot or cut away at the cardboard and use this as another rubber band to have, since I have multiple inserts. But it comes in this cheesecloth pouch with a handle. I suppose you could hang it on a hook. You could probably use this for something else, maybe garden related. But I just thought this was so classic and beautiful looking. I did not uh, want the, I wanted the Love 2025 one the moment I saw it, and then I saw the brown and I was like, nope, this is it. I'm really loving the classic look of it. I love the stamp that you can see here at the bottom. It says Traveler's Notebook, Traveler's Company Japan. It has this kind of grommet at the back, and then has a much more unfinished leather, almost suede feel on the inside. It's just absolutely beautiful. Really, really classic in appearance. I'm so excited to use this. I got the brown pen holder to go with it. That is designed to clip onto the pages and then fold over and have a pen that kind of is flush in line with it. These can expand and the leather will soften up. But I got inserts. I got a large sticker release paper. I do have some very large vinyl stickers, and if I go seek out new coffee shops, and a lot of times if they have vinyl stickers for the coffee house, I'll get those as well. What happens, and what I have right now, is without those sticker releases, I have my Hobonichi Alatone, and it has a clear pouch, and just all of the stickers get thrown into here, and then I'm not really like enjoying it. And they all look brown. So I want to get the stickers out of storage. I want to actually use my stickers. That is a goal this year, because there's never going to be a time where I'm going to, like, there's no end to cool stickers being made, but I do get precious about them. Let me know in the comments if you're precious about your stickers as well. But I want to use more of my stickers. So I want to get them out of storage here where they're just kind of like covers of things, and get them into a book so that if they're already pulled off the paper and on sticker release paper, I might be more apt to use them. I also got a collection of the rubber bands. This is 2 colors, 2 pieces. So 4 total, in 2 black and 2 brown. And that just is designed to slip around the vertical seam of the traveler's notebook, and you slip your inserts inside. Though sales associate told me it's best to do no more than 2 inserts for every rubber band. She said that was a good rule of thumb for her and seemed to work. I also got the craft paper folder, which is 2-pocket insert. Again, picking up a lot of paper ephemera, anything that I want to put into a junk journal, or, I don't need to put stickers in here now, but if I get a business card or something like that, I thought this would be really smart to put in there. And then I got the larger MD paper cream blank insert as well, and that would go really well. with my correction tape. So this is the Traveler system, and when they are all inside, obviously without the cellophane, you know, they do grow and graduate and the leather softens up. And it's just designed to be your journal, your dream book, your coffee journal, your place for thoughts, potentially even maybe ink swapping or swatching. I really want to find a community here in Northern California where I am, where I can find more pen friends. And if I did, I would take something like this with me and take my insert with my pen and ink samples, and it would be just great to throw in my bag. So I'm really, really excited to use that, and more on my Traveler's Notebook system to come. Moving right along. So this was something I'm really excited about. These are the Sailor Shikiori twin-ended brush markers. I have never seen these before. I've never seen them online, and they come in some pretty I think there was more than one set. I think they had three kind of palette sets, but I loved this olive green color, and I loved this mauve purple color, and these are just right up my alley. This is a twin marker set. I have a lot of markers. I technically didn't need to get more, but I am so excited to use these. I also just thought aesthetically the markers were so pleasing. This is the Wakagusu. Might be saying that wrong, but it's got a brush end, and it's got a fine liner as well. And I think I am going to swatch these. Let me get out my ink swatch book. So, kind of looks like a mild liner color. Ooh, sorry for the bounce on the camera. I don't know, is this already charged? Oh, it is. I thought maybe the ink would have to like come down because it kind of looks like the ink is only barely visible on the tip. This marker, but this is the, here, let me spell out, Waka, or Waku, Luisu. That is a really beautiful color. I use the next one is a bit of a darker kind of teal looking marker. Ooh. Appears more to be like a forest green. This is Miruai. I'm guessing these correspond to ink colors that they also have for fountain pens. I'm just guessing, but really liking how one is kind of more of a mild liner and the other one is definitely got more shadow to it. Ooh, that is a fun bright blue and not particularly what I expected. Oh, it's really beautiful, kind of a periwinkle color. This is Niosumer. Neo. Love that. Oh, I really do love thinner, almost highlighter style markers. I do a lot of alcohol markers with coloring books, and I have a full pastel set from Uhuhu that I love. That's what this reminds me of. Yozakura. Don't know if that will show up if it's too pale to be caught on camera. And then the last one is Sakumori. Yeah, this has to be corresponding to inks because I feel like I've heard that name before when people talk of Sailor inks in the Shikiori line. Sakura Mori. feel like these would be great if you are using your fountain pens to do any sort of fountain pen art. I feel like these would be excellent to have for detail. If you wanted to have anything be more consistent in color, maybe background, this would be an excellent addition. Me, I'll probably use them the way I use all of my markers, which is for letter writing, for using coloring books, outlines for planning. I very rarely use these when I am writing out text. I will typically use like a fountain pen, or I will use a roller ball or a gel pen or a darker marker, but I would definitely use these with something more artistic, something maybe for headers, but that is really beautiful. And for the set of 5, which it's 5 markers, but you're getting 2 ends, so it's like getting 10 markers. It's $14.95. I'm going to just label really nice set. I feel like I would love to use this Sakamura with the Wakagisu. Pink and green go well together. So that is that for the Sailor Shikiori markers. The next thing I got is stationery adjacent. It's not really stationery, but it is the Toyo toolbox, which can hold pens. When I was traveling back from the city, it held most of the boxes of the items that I had purchased and I wanted to protect so they wouldn't all move around. It's a really high quality desk accessory or travel accessory. It does have some weight to it. It is fairly heavy. It is made in Japan by Toyo. They have several sizes of toolboxes. And one thing I want to point out is that they have these features where they can be stacked. So there's kind of a divot here and then a female end for the same shape. So you could stack several on top. It feels like a tackle box for your pens and stationery. I just thought this would be great to have. I do carry things to and from work each day that I want to use. I love this color. It was kind of a muddy olive color, but really excited to have this and keep my stuff safe. And for now, outside of kind of soft bags that I have for fountain pens, this is a more substantial option. Loved that. This size is kind of in the mid-size. There are very, very small ones that have little handles on it, which are very cute. And then there's full size, what you would think is a traditional toolbox size for probably actual carpentry tools. The next thing I got is the Pilot Parallel Pen with a parallel nib plate. I got the 3.8 millimeter. I want to play around more with my calligraphy and lettering. This seems like a really great option. The staff was so great at Flax. They let me take out a notebook that they had and play with the 6 millimeter version of this, but it is intended for practicing pen strokes, more traditional calligraphy style. I also thought this might be fun for swatching because you could kind of use it like maybe a dip pen, but it does come with 2 styles of ink. And then the other thing that they pointed out to me, which I'll show you here, is that it is also intended to be used in conjunction with either a pipette or a stopper or another size parallel pen that you can work on gradation in your letter making. And I just thought that was really neat, playing with inks and actually going from one color to the next and combining inks. This would just be a lot of fun to play with. So I've been eyeballing these and finally got it, and maybe I'll be able to play around with it in future videos. Okay, the last thing I have is an octopus ink, and I believe this is an alcohol-based German ink. I got it in, this is the color Cerberus. I almost said Cerebus, but it's Cerberus. And it's night blue with a copper sheen. I am so excited to swatch this, so let's do that now. Swatch book out, which is an Archer and Olive A6. I believe it is the Swallows version. It's got a pretty high GSM, and so far this is all I've been swatching with, so I'm just going to get a little bit with a Q-tip here, do a Q-tip test. And this is the first time I've done an ink swatch where I've really seen the dots come through on this dot grid. This feels like a very matte, dry ink. I'm really interested to see how the copper kind of comes out here. You can already see some change happening on the page. Wow, this is very unique looking. You just get something. I've got a little Rubinado glass dipper here. No, just right. That is the octopus. Forgive my handwriting. It's a little scratchy with this nib, which was the first glass dipper that I got, and I believe it's from like Barnes and Noble from a gift set. But this is in Cerberus. And then kind of, oh, I can see some things happening, some sheens. I do like to go over when I swatch with different lines and see what it looks like for layering purposes. Not that I don't know if I would ever particularly layer like this when writing, but I do like to see how it looks layered on itself. But I definitely see some like violet that's appearing. This is making me think what I saw at the store swatched was not what I took home, which could very well be the case. You can kind of see what's happening here in the light. It's a really, I'm going to say, a really oceanic, deep blue color. You know what? I'm going to give it a little shake and do one more right above it. All right, I'm going to set that aside and let it dry. You can kind of see that this one's a little bit more saturated with liquid. So I'm going to set this aside, maybe turn on my fan here, let it dry while I clean up my Rubinado dipper and put this ink away, because there is a cat on the loose and I can just see him now jumping on here and making a mess of things. All right, so things have had a chance to dry here, and as I was holding it up to the light, I realized, you know, it said night blue, which it definitely is, with a copper sheen. And when I turn it to the side, that rosy color does have a copper appearance. And I've noticed that even on the text, which I find that sometimes inks have a trouble capturing what is promised when they're in finer lines. My dog. But it really does. I am noticing actually the copper more than the blue in the text itself. So this is a super unique ink. I really like what's happening up here at the top. When I swatched it at the bottom with the Q-tip, I didn't get a whole lot of that sheen variation, but at the top when I went back with the glass, I think that was a more appropriate swatching of it. And I am catching that brown kind of suede looking copper there in the light. I think I just need to improve my technique when it comes to swatching and not use an absorbent material like a cotton swab or a Q-tip. And maybe when I get back to swatching and doing maybe a more comprehensive video on the inks that I have in swatching, those I'll use glass only, or plastic or some sort of non-porous surface so that I can really give a true swatch. But as promised, it is night blue with a copper sheen, and I'm really enjoying the Octopus Fluids Cerberus. So that is it for my Flax Art and Design San Francisco haul. And I saved my swatching there for the end, but it was really an amazing trip. I had so much fun exploring the city. I had so much fun visiting the shops that I was able to see. When I came home, I saw that there was a top drawer outside of the city, maybe in the Oakland Berkeley area, that I wish I had gotten to. I really wish that I had been there on a day when the Lamy flagship was open. And maybe I'll be lucky enough to have some extra time when I'm back in San Francisco in August for the San Francisco Pen Show to check those out. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it through the entire video, please let me know with a dog emoji. At the bottom, we can celebrate my sweet little corgi and golden retriever pen holders here. Leave a dog emoji. Let me know. I am kind of starting out here on YouTube and my fountain pen journey, which is really just beginning. And I'd love it if you took the time to like this video or subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. But mostly, these dogs need names. So tell me if you have any good names for them. And I'll see you next time here on Ink.Flow.Repeat. Thank you so much. Bye bye.